A warm welcome, everyone who has tuned in for today's live session on the SAP Business Suite. So I am very happy to have Markus Rosemann as expert with us today. Markus is a vice president for the SAP Business Suite product marketing, and he is part of SAP SE. So you, the participants, have the opportunity to raise your questions, and you can do so by using the chat window. After the presentation part, we will pick up your questions and answer them in the best possible way. So this is actually the first session of an entire SAP Business Suite webcast series. So in the details of this video, you can access the playlist where you can find all the upcoming sessions and you can already save them in your calendar. So please use this opportunity, and would be great to also see you in our future sessions in the upcoming weeks. So without any further ado, I would like to now hand over to today's expert, Markus, and the stage is all yours.
Thanks a lot, Sinan, and warm welcome from my side as well. I'm really happy to kick it off and have the opportunity to discuss the SAP Business Suite offering with you. And that's actually the plan for the next half hour plus, to actually take a deeper look into what is SAP Business Suite actually about. Dig a little bit deeper, and also that we talk about what we call the narrative. So what's actually the story behind when we speak of SAP Business Suite? Those of you who have attended Sapphire Orlando, which has taken place earlier this week, have already seen parts of Business Suite, of SAP Business Suite, of all the different elements that are coming together here. What I would like to do, and what we would like to do, is actually kick this off, where we will have later a session of more deep dives, but kind of bring the overall strategy and the overall perspective of SAP Business Suite together on the elements that we are introducing here, with the applications, with the data, and with AI, really enabling the next generation enterprise management. So dive a little bit deeper into the overall story, into the different aspects of what SAP Business Suite is actually about. To get started, this is like, we would like to use this discussion today also to give you like a meta description of how do we really talk about the offering that is actually the next generation enterprise management. The why are we actually moving there? What is contained? What are we talking about when we talk about SAP Business Suite in the year 25? And how do actually customers go on the journey towards SAP Business Suite? This all stands in the context of our purpose, of SAP's purpose, so that remains stable, that remains clearly our direction, our purpose. Help the world run better and improve people's life is our purpose, and our strategy and our vision, which comes behind that, is actually about we bring out the best in every business, across industries, across geographies, for all different sizes of enterprises and businesses, from small, large to large, from mid-market, from all kinds of industry perspectives, to really have the three main drivers here. Allow businesses to transform and run the business transformation in an agile way to scale. Be able to maximize the value, so achieve more across the value chain. So the entire network, as well as the end-to-end processes when it comes to realizing value, all in the context of sustainability. So these mission and vision remain stable. However, SAP Business Suite, and we launched SAP Business Suite earlier this year in February to actually bring together the next generation. What do we mean by next generation? And that is exactly where we also see the need to broaden the picture and really get into a much more comprehensive view, serving and understanding the challenges and complexities that every business is facing, and every business is also facing within their different disciplines or kind of personas and responsibilities within an enterprise. So everyone, every single role is today facing much higher complexities, much higher dynamics, and needs to respond to those. And when we break this down into responsibility areas or lines of business, we can see that certainly every single one has unique challenges. The CFO seeking for transformation and steering the transformation while keeping the main goal of growth and profitability in sync, in line. A chief procurement officer has to look, what are my costs, what's the quality, what's the availability of supplies, as well as the sustainability requirements. Running a supply chain in a resilient way, in a global scale, is really something to be able to respond to constant disruptions. Chief revenue officers looking into meeting customer expectations, while from an HR perspective, it's about engaging talent, identifying skill requirements, and adjust them to the ever-evolving needs. And a cross-line of business approach, or cross the different disciplines approach from a technology perspective, is the CIO role. So how to deliver a modern AI-powered environment that allows innovation, but still is also delivering on the promise. So every single aspect of the business and every single line of business has their unique challenges. But to solve those, it's really important to bring those not into an isolated view and solve them by themselves, but have a collaborative end-to-end approach across the disciplines, across the different disciplines and business processes to actually connect. And that is all about how applications and technology are really enabling this, and how we do that in an intelligent way is exactly what SAP Business Suite is about. So bringing not only the applications and the processes in sync, but also getting the right insights to respond and build a business-savvy artificial intelligence environment that helps to automate processes, that really is building on that fast accelerating capabilities that AI is offering. So we have really to face those challenges, but also have to think about how do we solve those challenges in a really holistic way. So how do we actually do that? This is about the next generation enterprise management, or the new era. Think about the real bigger picture here, and that is bringing together the applications, data, and AI. So the overall approach is here a three-layered, or with three aspects. First of all, certainly the transactional systems. This is where SAP is coming from. This is more than 50 years experience of running mission-critical processes for all kinds of enterprises, for all kinds of industries, for all kinds of sizes and geographies here. So optimizing core business processes is what the transaction systems in applications is about. And the term that we are really seeing is unparalleled applications, with a technology platform that is actually creating a lot of data that is running the world economy. Next level would be the data. Use the data in a context-sensitive environment, knowing the semantic to actually drive transformational insights. So how do I get really the insights out of the transactional data that is created? How do we centralize that, bring that all together in one central environment that understands the business, but also allows to get better insights, advanced analytics, a better understanding, and also automating through AI to empower the business to drive the growth and innovation in a meaningful way. With that data, the next level is then to really say, how do we run this environment? How do we actually automate the business processes, support the users, and leverage artificial intelligence through AI agents? So use that accurate data from SAP or non-SAP sources to build AI, which are unrivaled AI agents that deliver the advantage of cross-function collaboration. So bringing all of those disciplines, finance, supply chain, procurement, and so on, together with a cross-function automation, a cross-function collaboration, and leveraging that to enable smarter decisions and outcomes. So those three layers are actually building the building blocks of what SAP Business Suite is about. And in that context, if we speak of AI agents, it's about, think of an AI agent as like a not only a bot, but really like a certain service which is bringing automated insights, recommendations, and actions together to actually link, for that example over here, as a supply chain agent interacting with a sales agent and a procurement agent, which are really interacting by themselves and allow to automate the business processes in a very efficient way and optimize them. So run a demand and supply planning process, which is then orchestrated through our through Joule, the orchestrator and central environment to run AI processes. So Joule will orchestrate those end-to-end processes as well as run complex analytical scenarios. So getting the insight in that. And with that, Joule on top really becomes that significant layer, significant in the sense that it's a business savvy environment. So we're speaking of SAP Business AI in that context, knowing your data, knowing your processes, having that context to be able to bring the different disciplines and lines of business together with the goal of clearly increasing the efficiency. So orchestrating and optimizing the processes and the end-to-end planning. So it all comes together in that picture of using the applications to run the mission-critical processes that also integrate to non-SAP applications, all based on the business technology platform. So having a real integrated suite across SAP and non-SAP environments, with the SAP Business Data Cloud as one semantic layer of data products on top, where we have exactly that business context, that semantics available with the different data products. So we have that unmatched data, accurate and secure, which then allows to build the business AI on top, where we have AI on every business process and embedded in every business process to automate, but also to orchestrate and bring up the efficiency of those processes. So all of that is exactly what Business Suite is about. SAP Business Suite, and you might remember the term that we when we had the SAP Business Suite in the year of 2006, I think it was, we launched that. That was a pure focus on on-premise applications, monolithic environments that were integrated. The vision here is much broader. So it's really bringing together the application knowledge with the data and AI to build a much broader, much more comprehensive, and a true SaaS, software as a service, or you can even say suite as a service environment that is much more than the application, which are still there to run the critical processes, but supported by data and AI to automate and optimize. So what are those different layers actually about? When we speak about the applications, it's a comprehensive coverage of mission-critical end-to-end business processes with a broad portfolio of comprehensive applications that are put together to serve those integrated processes like procure to pay, design to operate, or hire to retire, lead to cash, or record to report. Those processes are tightly integrated and powered by generative AI. But it's also about the automation and the integration. So we have this integrated, yet also extensible where needed. So where you need to differentiate, the extensibility is also in place. What's super important in that context is to have the industry-specific environment here. So tailored solutions for all industries, 25 industries, to really meet your customers' unique business needs in that context. So that is where the applications play a huge role. And this is also where SAP Cloud ERP, which is the term that we are introducing here for S/4HANA Cloud Public Edition, as the application behind that, as well as the SAP Cloud Private for S/4HANA Cloud Private Edition, as the underlying core Cloud ERP topics. When it's about data, this is the Business Data Cloud that we launched earlier this year, and which is the clear strategy for data, for really getting that different sources from SAP applications and non-SAP data together in a business data fabric with data products and data models behind, also with inside apps, or actually really helping to get analytics planning in place to actually help serving business AI with the purpose of getting transformative insights. What does it mean? Build new business processes that are built on data. So make faster decisions with business-related data and the context that are completely based on industry standard best practices. When we run business processes, this is actually which is then the condensed best practice of industry standards. Connect all the data, meaning harmonize them across mission-critical data and give a complete and actionable view of the organization that then also fosters reliable AI. So really using that for AI, which then is the third layer. When we speak of unrivaled AI, this is about the new way how to interact with the application and with the data. So AI is the new user interface. Rethink the user experience as a persona-based environment with an intuitive way to get the interaction with the system as such, but then also delivering easy to work with, simplifying everyday work environments, where it's like a conversational environment to navigate, to get analytical insights, but also to automate the different business processes. So a huge impact on how to work and engage with the system. That also allows in the implementation environment to accelerate the cloud transformation and allows to actually build more innovation, reach more innovation. So it's not only about running the business, but getting to the next level and understanding the context with being able to then also innovate accordingly. All of that is built with and on the business technology platform. So business technology platform is the foundation here to integrate and extend business applications, build the business related apps for the data. So having data driven applications with SAP built in place, and have the link to AI with Joule Studio, Joule for developers, to actually get into more detail here for AI scenarios. So the BTP builds all of that. All of this comes together in that comprehensive business suite picture. Built on the business technology platform and business data cloud, we have cloud ERP as the core and center that then serves the different lines of business: finance, spend management, supply chain, human capital management, customer experience, covered with industry, network, and sustainable extensions and ecosystem solutions, as well as the business transformation management, how to get there. The agents play a huge role to actually automate insights and operations, and Joule as the orchestrating layer on top. When we speak about cloud ERP, this is really the core and center of that strategy. So cloud ERP is where it comes to running the mission critical ERP processes in the cloud. And introducing here, I mentioned it before, we are renaming, or we are simplifying, clarifying the naming here. When we speak of SAP S/4HANA Cloud Public Edition, it's about SAP Cloud ERP. We announced at Sapphire a packaging approach here to make it easy to access finance packages, supply chain packages, HR packages, as well as customer experience packages, to build and package specifically the needed applications and capabilities in an easy to understand and easy to consume way with SAP Cloud ERP. For the private environment, those of you familiar with that, that's also part here. So Cloud ERP, SAP Cloud ERP Private is the approach to go in the private environment here. However, the business suite as such, with the future of enterprise management, is clearly towards a public SaaS environment that we are seeing as the vision, as the long-term strategic direction here, where we really bring together this in a seamless SAP managed environment to really connect all of those different lines of business in the most comprehensive way. So it's about, when we rethink and revisit the challenges that we started with, why are we actually looking into those different business processes? It's about solving the problems of a CFO, CPO, COO, and so on. And that is where all of the different pieces come together: applications, data, and AI, to really improve and optimize planning and balancing growth and profitability for the CFO. Getting supplier insights to optimize the supplier selection and manage all procurement risk with AI-driven supplier insights. It's about being able to predict and respond to disruptions in the supply chain in real time through AI-powered analytics for the COO. Supporting that with workforce insights, with AI-infused capabilities to identify skill gaps and close them. So it's not only about identification of issues, but also triggering responses and activities. So really closing the loop between the insights on the data side, automating this through AI, and having the effect by running the application and the end-to-end process in the most meaningful way. How do we get there? And that is actually what the journey to the SAP Business Suite is all about. And there are two journeys for getting to SAP Business Suite. So depending on the starting point, it's a journey for existing ERP customers or for customers that are new to SAP ERP. And that is about RISE with SAP for existing ERP customers, where it's about the modernization of the existing systems with the Business Suite. So like a stepwise approach where we transform stepwise and build the Business Suite in several steps, starting with the private environment, SAP Cloud ERP Private, while for new customers that start fresh with the Business Suite, it's about grow with SAP. So that is also a change in the way how we position here. RISE with SAP is about existing customers, and that's the journey with a starting point of already using ERP, SAP ERP, while grow with SAP is the fresh start. We are redefining the terms RISE and grow. Up to now, or last year, we had RISE and grow as offerings, where RISE was kind of associated with the private cloud offering in ERP and grow with the public cloud offering. This is actually changed to really become a journey, because certainly when we speak of the final destination of the Business Suite as public cloud, also for existing customers, public cloud is highly relevant with a two-tier scenario for subsidiaries. So if you need to accelerate the implementation and the journey here, run subsidiaries in an independent parts of the company on public, this would certainly be something which falls into RISE, as well as replacements of ECC or environments that straightly go into a greenfield environment here, starting fresh. That will also be a public environment. So this is why Grow and RISE are defined as the journeys with much more detail. And we will see this in later sessions, going more into detail. What does it mean? How do we actually do that? What's the RISE methodology? What are the different packages here? So much more to come. But overall, this is the direction to get to SAP Business Suite. So let me summarize. It's about the next generation enterprise management, a SaaS environment, suite as a service or software as a service with SAP Business Suite, bringing together the applications, the data, and the AI to actually deliver end-to-end processes for the particular lines of business, for the particular roles within your company, which is a completely different approach and a very holistic and exciting approach to actually onboard here. Thank you for so far, and I think we can open it up for further discussion.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Markus, for your great insights into SAP's Business Suite strategy. So as you've already mentioned, let's now move over to the Q&A part. So as already outlined in the beginning, you, the participants, have the opportunity to raise your questions directly to Markus. You can do so by using the chat window. So let me take a look into the chat window if we already have questions. So I can see a question in there. So let's start with the first one. So what role do the RISE and GROW packages play in SAP Business Suite?
So we have, thanks a lot for that question, because that is exactly what the way, how do we approach that, and how can customers onboard into the SAP Business Suite is about. And that is how we package. And packaging means making it easy to access and consume the services within Business Suite. So a package would mean we are building a set for a particular use case, for a particular role that is tailored to exactly the needs. For example, and that was just recently announced the day before yesterday at Sapphire in Orlando, launched the line of Business Suite packages. So this is, for example, about a finance user, bringing all capabilities together for finance and being able to solve with the right components. So what we're taking out of the Business Suite are S/4HANA Cloud Public Edition, but also topics like multi-bank connectivity, maybe also Sales Cloud. So bringing all of the different elements together into one package, which is then easy to access, integrated as such, bringing the capabilities together, serving the needs of finance, which in that case, by the way, is not finance only, but really a finance-led or admin ERP approach. So really having the core package together and be able to use. This is we have that for finance, but also if we look into product-centric environments for supply chain, so like a finance, on top of the finance packages, we have also supply chain packages to actually serve that. That would be the transition from the grow packages from the past, really focus on the line of business. For RISE, this is all about bringing together the right packaging and the right tools and the right services to address the needs of that stepwise transformation with SAP Cloud Private. So the packaging here is also addressing the needs in the right way with the right methodology behind to actually deliver on that transformation approach. So where we don't have a greenfield fresh start, but really build on what is already there at your pace. And I think we will also have for both aspects more detail in one of the follow-up sessions.
Thank you very much. So this is very true what you have just said. So I've also already touched base on that in the beginning of the session. So this has only been the kickoff today of an entire series on the topic of SAP Business Suite. So in the description of this video, as well as also in the chat window, you can access the entire playlist where you can also find all the future sessions and already use the opportunity to save those in your calendar. So let's move on to the next question. I can see another one in the chat window, which is, what does SAP Business Suite mean to the future of private and public cloud ERP offerings?
So when we look into that, we call that the sunrise picture, a little bit in a colloquial term, that kind of business suite picture that represents the entire portfolio. Cloud ERP is core and center of that. So we have the business technology platform, have the business data cloud with the different with the data layer as the foundation. But then when it comes to the application, this is all about cloud ERP. So this is really the core and center of that entire approach of the business suite. So with cloud ERP, and there are the two, I would call them flavors, public as well as private, are core and center of that strategy. So while we have the different packages for the different lines of business, the capabilities of ERP remain core and center, with the focus certainly on shifting towards the public cloud. But private cloud is one of the central and relevant building blocks specifically for the RISE journey. So when we have the transformation out of existing environments into the future, this is also the building block that we would use in that case. So again, here, the two journeys, RISE for existing customers with the focus on having a stepwise transformation, or the fresh start. And fresh start can mean a greenfield approach, or means a greenfield approach typically for customers that are new to the entire environment here. That would also be the cloud ERP. But overall, both are highly relevant, and both are actually clearly addressing certain requirements, while public cloud, also to mention that, is clearly the way to go when it comes to standard-based, fit-to-standard approaches. So it's really about streamlining and scaling in the public environment here. But both ERP, core and center of that strategy.
Great. Thank you very much for the clarification here. So let me take another look in the chat if we have any additional questions. So at the moment, this does not seem to be the case. So we still have a couple of minutes left. So if there are any questions to the participants, please feel free to include them in the chat window. And you will have access to the slides shortly via the description of this video. So we will include a link leading to the PDF file in there. So if there are no more questions left, which seems to be the case, thank you very much again, Markus, for your great session, for taking your time, for being with us today. And to the participants, also, thank you very much for joining. And it would be great to see you again in one of our future sessions in the upcoming weeks. So with that, thank you very much and have a great day.
Thanks a lot.